Live from Fullerton College, it's Oaks Baseball on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. We got a late start here, so we're going to send it straight to the national anthem, and then we'll come back and give you lineups and some context on the game in game number 2 of the series. We'll be right back. We apologize for the late start here on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. We had some technical difficulties, but we're happy to bring you Oaks Baseball live from Fullerton College. It's game number 2 of this 2-game series in the home and home. Yesterday's game was an exciting one. It was 8-4 going into the bottom of the 9th inning. The Oaks were able to come back and tie it up at 8 apiece, and then they called the game due to darkness. So the game will be played out on July 15th. But right here, we have our own fresh new baseball game between the Oaks and the Orange County Riptide, along with Jordan Brenner. My name is Jonathan Rifkin. Happy to be with you on a beautiful Friday afternoon from Fullerton College. We're going to give you the visiting Oaks lineup first and the Orange County field, and we'll flip it in the bottom of the first inning. The Oaks are coming into today at 7-10, 5-8 on the CCL season. Batting first and playing right field from Ole Miss, Michael Spears. Playing third base, and batting second, from UC Irvine, Brandon Lewis. In the 3 spot and playing shortstop from Valparaiso, Sam Shaken. Chase Cockrell batting cleanup for the Oaks out in center field from Ole Miss. Behind him, Drew Sims catching from the Utah Valley University. In the 6th spot, Tyler Ryan DHing from the University of the Pacific. Bart West is at first base from USC in the 7th spot. Tanner Wright is batting 8th, playing second base from Cal Lutheran University. And Elijah Alexander from the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley is out in center field, batting 9th. On the mound for the Oaks will be Justin Friedman. We'll give you more on him in the bottom of the inning. We'll give you the Orange County Riptide field here. We'll give you their batting lineup in the bottom of the first inning. Out in right field is Matthew Cooper, Luke Bandy in center, Aaron Simpson in left. Brandon Alamo occupies first, Mason Hibbler at second, Jacob Dominguez, over at short. Jay Robinson at third, behind the dish, Landon Gray, and on the mound, Mark Verplank. Check that, Bryce Verplank. My mistake. Nonetheless, though, Bryce Verplank from the University of Texas. Getting ready here is Michael Spears. Digs in. Spears has had a great last 2 days. He was 3 for 5 yesterday and 3 for 5 2 days ago. Batting very well. First pitch slapped over to second. One hopper to Hibbler, and he fires it over to first for out number 1. First pitch time, 4:32. Temperature 75 degrees. Sunny, wind blowing steadily out to center field. Handful of fans here from Fullerton College. One of 2 times the Oaks will be here this season. 4-3 puts us out number 1 up on the board, and that now brings up Brandon Lewis, the big bat from Pierce Junior College, headed to UC Irvine in the fall. He home run in the first at-bat yesterday. We'll see if he can recreate it here. First pitch is in there for strike 1.
Yeah, and a couple days ago, Brandon Lewis, Jonathan, he had a really tough day at the plate. And you know what? That was very short-lived. Brandon Lewis, one of the best hitters on this team, he doesn't slump for very long. And yesterday, he broke it with a big day.
Cracks one over to third, past the diving glove of Robinson and into left field. Lewis rounding first, but puts on the brakes wisely as he won't test the arm of Simpson. And the Oaks have a one-out, one-on base runner here in the top of the first inning. Lewis continues his hot start. Yesterday, as Jordan mentioned, he got on base 4 times. He went 3 for 4, walked once, struck out, a double, a single, and a home run to his day, along with 3 RBIs. And that'll bring up Sam Shaken now from Valparaiso. Shaken out of Chatsworth, California. Finished his sophomore season at Valparaiso where he put up a batting average of .284. That's after a .300 season, but Valparaiso moved to the Horizon League, or from the Horizon League to the Missouri Valley Conference. A little bit more competition there. Runner on first, 1 away. Pickoff attempt first, nothing doing as Lewis slides back safely. Brandon Lewis was caught stealing for the first time all season yesterday. He was 6 for 6 before that. He takes a step and a half off of first base. Covering though is Alamo. The Oaks are in their baby blues today with white letters on the front, outlined by navy blue, and navy blue numbers on the back. For Plank offers, the first pitch low for ball 1. The Riptide are in their blue uniforms with white numbers on the front and white letters outlined by orange, and white numbers on the back outlined by orange as well, with the sleeves showing the white color. They were wearing orange yesterday. 1-0 count here to Shaken. Rests that bat on his shoulder. For Plank offers, low and away once again, 2-0 the count. Patience yesterday was not key for the Oaks. They only walked 2 times, but they put up a season-high 17 hits. But it wasn't until the bottom of the 9th inning when they were able to come back. They were down 8-4, strung together a couple of big hits. They were able to knot it up before the game was called due to darkness. 2-0 pitch, runner goes. That pitch is ripped foul, though. 2-1 the count to Shake. We're in the second half of a home-and-home here. The Oaks hosted yesterday. The game will be finished on July 15th back at Cal Lutheran. And now we're in Fullerton College, about 2 hours southwest of Thousand Oaks. Plank toes the rubber. Pearson fires the 2-1. Popped up into center field. Not very far, though, as Bandy glides over to his left and makes that catch for out number 1. Excuse me, out number 2, actually. Spears grounded out. Shaken flew out. Brandon Lewis singled in between that. The Oaks have a runner on first with 2 away now, but Chase Cockrell stepping in, batting a clean .407 on the season. He was a semifinalist for the Golden Spikes Award, given to the top player in college baseball. He batted .324 at Ole Miss this past season. And he digs in here. 2 away, 1 on, pickoff attempt. Lewis dives back safely. They're trying to keep him at bay wisely. Though he is one of the bigger guys on the team, he can't get around the bases. And the last thing the Orange County Riptide want to do is allow the Oaks to score first here, but with 2 away for Plank dealing. Breaking pitch misses low, 1-0 the count.
And Jonathan, this is the first game that I can remember where the wind is actually blowing out from the hitter's perspective. A little bit of an advantage for a team that has gotten the short end of the stick so far this year in terms of natural conditions.
1-0 pitch taken away, 2-0 the count. Yeah, at Sparky Anderson Field, the wind always blows out to right field, so right-handed hitters have a disadvantage. The Oaks only have 1 lefty in the lineup in Elijah Alexander. But here, with the wind blowing out to straightaway center, expect some balls to carry on both sides. 2-0 offering. In the dirt, ball 3, Cockrell taking.
And one thing that I really like about the lineup today is Coach Solis is backing up Cockrell with Drew Sims. So obviously the Riptide are not going to give too many pitches to hit to Cockrell, but Sims is right there to back him up and produce right behind him.
Cockrell pops that one up into center field. Bandy going backwards now. Takes a couple steps to his left and forwards and makes the catch for out number 3. Couple pop-outs and a ground out here in the top of the first. No runs, a hit, no errors. Brandon Lewis stranded on first base. We're through half an inning here from Fullerton College. No score, but the Riptide will have their order coming up here in the bottom half. You're watching Oaks Baseball on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. We'll be right back with lineups and the first offensive opportunity for the Riptide after this. back here in the bottom of the first inning. No score. He's Jordan Brenner. My name is Jonathan Rifton. Delighted to be with you on a beautiful Friday afternoon from Fullerton, California. No matter how you're watching or where you're watching, we appreciate you making us a part of your Friday plans. The Riptide lineup looks as this. Aaron Simpson will lead off, playing left field in today's game. Luke Bandy behind him in center field, and Mason Hibbler in the third spot. Cleaning up for the Riptide is Austin Sueca, DHing in today's game. Behind him is Brandon Alamo in the fifth spot, Shaq Robinson in the sixth spot, and Matthew Cooper in the seventh spot. The final two batters are Landon Gray and Jacob Dominguez. The Oaks field looks as follows. Michael Spears in right, Elijah Alexander in center, and Chase Cockrell in left. Bart West occupies first, Tanner Wright at second, Sam Shaken at short, Brandon Lewis at third, and behind the plate is Drew Sims. On the mound getting his second start and third appearance, Justin Friedman from the University of San Diego. 8.1 ERA, though only in 6 2/3 innings pitched. 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. Aaron Simpson digs in. The first pitch, up and in, ball 1. Simpson came into the field yesterday, but did not record an at-bat. Replaced Brandon Yekic in that game. 1-0 offering. Missing outside, 2-0 the count.
And Jonathan, one thing I'll mention about yesterday's game, before the bottom half of the ninth inning, the Riptide actually made a lot of defensive changes. So when we pick up the game later in July, they're not going to have a lot of players available.
2-0 pitch, bounces inside, 3-0 the count. And you're absolutely right. The Oaks did not have a game called due to darkness last season, but 2 seasons ago, they had a game called due to darkness against the San Luis Obispo Blues, and they had to bring in a pitcher, Casey Ryan, to hit. He ended up doubling in the game-winning run, believe it or not, as that 3-0 pitch is a fastball over the heart of the plate. 3-1 the count. Casey Ryan got drafted thereafter to the Chicago Cubs organization, played a season for the Eugene Emeralds, but was not retained this season. But now the Oaks have 2 games pending as the 3-1 pitch comes in. Sky to left field. Cockrell, though, comes in and makes the catch for out number 1. Going back to the 2 games pending, yesterday's game, an 8-8 score going to the 10th. The Oaks also have a game against the SoCal Catch, tied 4-4 going to the 10th inning. That game will be played out next Saturday in La Mirada. Luke Bandy now stepping in. Batted second yesterday and got on base 4 times. He walked twice. He was 2 for 3. Fastball fouled back for strike 1. Dallas Baptist University product, and he really gave the Oaks fits in that 2 spot yesterday. And they had Holcomb going. Holcomb, one of the better Oaks starters, went 1 2/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. And the Orange County Riptide got to that team early. The Oaks put up 17 hits, but couldn't score a lot of runs till the bottom of the 9th as that pitch goes away. 1-1 the count. Friedman, though, on the mound, started his college career at George Washington University, transferred to Ventura College, and now is headed to University of San Diego in the fall. Takes a breath, toes the rubber, and offers the 1-1. Cracked foul off the arm of Sims, 1-2 the count.
And for Friedman, it's a fastball, curveball, changeup combination. As long as he commands the fastball in the zone, he's going to be able to work off of that and be very effective with his off-speed pitches.
Location is key here for the Oaks. Try to limit the walks. They walked 9 batters yesterday, and that was a big difference in the score up until the 9th inning. 1-2 pitch. That curveball got him on the knees. Strike number 3, and Bandy goes down looking for out number 2.
Next up from University of Texas, number 3, Mason Hibbler.
Beautiful pitch right there for Friedman. I talked to him a little bit on the bus ride over, and he said, I'm trying to get the break on my pitches a little bit more efficient. In Healdsburg last week when he pitched, it was so hot he had to change the way he was throwing the ball, and it affected his pitching ability. Mason Hibbler steps in now and takes that one low and away for ball 1.
Yeah, didn't Friedman before that game in Healdsburg say he switched from a curveball to a slider in his bullpen session before?
He did, because the way he was throwing the curveball was slipping out of his hands incorrectly. It was 105 degrees. The sweat from his palm was making him throw that curveball errant, so he had to change the way he threw the pitch as that 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 1 the count, or 1-1 the count. 1 strike now up on the board. But yeah, so he had to change to a slider, and he absolutely got lit up by the Prune Packers.
Well, I admire, recognizing that something's not working and trying to change, in the middle of a game.
There was a curveball there, low and away. 2-1 the count now.
A lot of players are, hard set on what they always do, and they resist change. But in order to stay the best, even if you're the best pitcher in the major leagues, you constantly have to be adjusting your stuff to remain effective.
Well, 2-1 pitch is cut on and foul tipped off. 2-2 the count here. The Oaks had a base run in the form of Brandon Lewis back in the top of the first inning, though he was stranded. 2-2 the count now, though, and 2 away for the Riptide. They were retired 1, 2, 3 in 2 innings yesterday in the 4th and the 8th. The Oaks went through a handful of pitchers in the game. Freeman offers the 2-2, taken in the dirt. Full count now, the first full count we've seen of the ball game.
One thing I'll say for Friedman today is when he's missing low. And that's a good sign, because up in Healdsburg last week, his miss was right over the heart of the plate. And when you do that, you're going to get lit up.
Towing the rubber, takes a breath, payoff pitch here. Curveball swung and missed. Hebler goes down swinging, 2 consecutive strikeouts, put out number 3 up on the board. 2 strikeouts in the inning, and the Riptide are retired 1, 2, 3 to begin their frame of the first inning. We're through 1 full here from Fullerton College. No score, but the Oaks look to change it with Sims, Ryan, and West due up here after this on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. Drew Sims from the Utah Valley University leads things off here in the top of the second inning. Welcome back, everybody. Jordan Brenner, myself, Jonathan Rifkin, Oaks Baseball on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. No score here. And Bryce Verplank back on the mound for his second inning of work. First pitch is a strike at the knees. 0-1 the count here to Sims. Sims came in as a pinch hitter yesterday in place of Will Picketts and hit a clutch RBI single to make the game 8-7 in the bottom of the 9th inning. And I talked to him on the bus as the 0-1 pitch is swung on a miss for strike 2, and I asked him, did you know you were going to come in? And he said, I had no idea. I didn't even get to take practice swings. Coach just threw me out there. I got 2 practice swings, and he was down in the count 1-2, and he said, I just had to let my hands do the talking, and he was able to loop one into right field to drive in the 7th run of the ball game for the Oaks as he takes that pitch up and in, ball 1. His father was drafted out of CSUN into the Florida Marlins organization. Made the spring training roster as he pops one up into center. Bandy making a run for it. Makes a dive, and he can't make the catch. That ball popped out of his glove, and Drew Sims is standing on first base here. The Oaks got a leadoff runner on here, top of the second inning. Because it was a dive, it should be hit, or ruled a hit, and indeed it is. Drew Sims gets his first hit of the ball game in his first at-bat.
Good things happen when you put the ball in play with 2 strikes. He shortened up, put barrel to the ball, and was rewarded for it.
Tyler Ryan, getting his second DH stint of the season, steps in from the University of the Pacific. Been struggling a little bit this season. It seemed like he was going to break out of his shell a couple of weeks ago, though a slump has been showing as he foul tips that ball off the right foot. He's wearing those University of the Pacific colored cleats, black and orange, the orange Nike swoosh really standing out.
One thing I can say about Tyler is last week in batting practice, it seemed as though his bat was a little bit slower. It was clear to me that he was in a funk just based on his batting practice. Well, today, in batting practice, he had a quicker bat. He was lining shots all over the ballpark. We'll see if that's an indicator of things to come.
Ryan on the season batting 147. 1 extra base hit, 4 singles, 5 total hits, and 42 plate appearances and 35 at-bats. First a pickoff attempt, though. Drew Sims sliding back safely. If you're going to be worried about anybody, Drew Sims is not the person to worry about on the base paths.
You never know.
No, I think we know.
We saw Duarte a few days ago, I'm pretty sure, for the Blues, try and steal a base.
0-1 pitch, a swung on a missed 0-2, and he actually had the opportunity. He got the best jump we've ever seen, I think. He had Jonathan Lavallee completely off balance, but a couple of foul tips made him retreat back to first base. He tried stealing second base twice, Dalton Duarte, but...
Yeah, one of the biggest guys in the league.
Not quite the league because he's in the Ventura County Bucks, but one of the biggest guys that we've seen this season for sure.
Not very light on his feet.
0-2 pitch is in the dirt here to Ryan. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to the University of the Pacific Tiger. No runs, 2 hits here for the Oaks, top of the second. No runs, no hits for the Riptide, though they only have had 1 opportunity on the offensive side so far today. 1-2 count here for Plank, toes the rubber. Peers and fires the 1-2 pitch, cut on and missed. Tyler Ryan goes down swinging. That's the first strikeout of the ball game here for Plank. Puts out number 1 up on the board in the top of the second inning. The Oaks do have a base runner on first base. And that brings up Bart West now, the USC slugger. Batting .280 on the season. Does lead the team in strikeouts with 17. Foul tips that pitch off his left foot for strike 1. Got the day off yesterday. He is tied for first on the team with Michael Tillman in walks, though. He has 7 on the season. Played 3 games, but had the red shirt due to a medical injury. But he looks good so far in this CCL season, and the USC Trojans will have a bright young star when he returns to their team. Verplank steps off for time. Sims taking a step-and-a-half lead off of first base. West back in the right-handed batter's box. Verplank peers and fires the 0-1, swung and missed. Strike 2, and that slider has been working for him so far today.
And this is a rematch of the 2006 Rose Bowl, pitcher versus hitter, Texas versus USC. Not that it is relevant at all.
0-2 pitch, bounces in the dirt. Gray blocks it, 1-2 the count. I think it's relevant. And USC and Texas played last year in football, and they're playing again this year in football. So these two guys, their schools will at least match up consistently.
Maybe that's what Gray and Verplank are talking about right now on the Hill.
Oh, what's going to happen in the USC-Texas game? I think they have other things to worry about than the first game of the season for both their football schools. But nonetheless, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 on, 1 away. No score. Verplank toes the rubber. Offers the 1-2. Swung and missed. A half-hearted swing gets Bart West down on strikes. That's the 2nd consecutive strikeout of the ball game here for Verplank. Out number 2 up on the board now in the top of the 2nd inning.
And that's a nasty slider from Verplank. Looks like it's just going to start at the hip. Looks like a heater. All of a sudden it drops off to the bottom half of the plate. Impossible to hit that one.
Tanner Wright stepping in now and takes a slider upstairs for ball 1. 302 batting average so far today. He leads the team with singles with 12. He does have a double, 3 runs, 6 RBIs. Only 2 strikeouts. In 50 plate appearances, he is so reliable, at least putting bat to ball. 1-0 pitch. Misses low and away, 2-0 the count. I think that Tanner Wright and Will Pickett's out of Cal State Bakersfield are probably the 2 most patient batters in this Oaks lineup. And Tanner Wright always waits for a pitch that he knows he can at least make contact with. And that's why you see so few strikeouts to his name. 2-0 pitch, though. Finds the inside corner for strike 1. Beautiful ballpark here at Fullerton. Almost like a mini Wrigley Field with the ivy out in the outfield. 340 to right, 373 to right center, 405 to center, 366 to left center, and 334 to straightaway left. 2-0 pitch, cracked over to short on the second hop. Dominguez fields it, fires it over to first in time for out number 3. The Oaks get a runner wrong with nobody up, but couldn't bring Sims around. No runs, a hit, no errors. They strand him at first base. We're through 1.5 here from Fullerton College. No score. Soika, Alamo, and Robinson due up on the other side of the break right here on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network.
University, number 30.
Austin Soika from Oklahoma Wesleyan, the cleanup man here for the Riptide, leading things off. No score up on the board, bottom of the second inning. And Justin Friedman getting ready to pitch here as he deals the first pitch to Soika. Curveball, called a strike. And you know what's interesting about that pitch, and Drew Sims and I talked about it, was the frame. That pitch was probably a ball, but Sims has been a master at framing pitches, and he got the strike call there. I'll explain more on that here in a moment as the 0-1 pitch. Another frame, another strike on the inside corner. 0-2 the count. And he told me he only frames low pitches. He starts the framing process as the pitch comes in. He whips his glove up, and it kind of takes the umpire's eye away from the original spot of the ball and places it where the ball is placed by the catcher. It's genius as the 0-2 pitch misses low. 1-2 the count. He said that his father really taught him. His father was a catcher for CSUN, was drafted by the Florida Marlins way back in the day, played with guys like Gary Sheffield, and been a big influence on his framing abilities. The 1-2 pitches, a one-hopper over to first. West will take it himself for out number 1. And that framing ability has been so vital for this Oaks team all season long, and Sims is a master at it.
Stony Brook University, number 24, Brandon Alamo.
That'll bring up Brandon Alamo from Stony Brook University.
And Jonathan, I'll caution you to not talk too loudly about that framing ability. We're right next to the umpires. Not trying to give them an advantage.
First pitch here to the southpaw. Misses outside for ball 1, but regardless, some of these pitches are very close, so if the strike zone's established, I don't think I'm going to have any impact on that. 1-0 pitch. Cracked into right center field, though. Elijah Alexander makes the catch for out number 2. And how about this? When Elijah Alexander was at Ventura College, so is Justin Friedman. And he said that whenever a ball was hit to center field, he knew that it was going to be caught by Alexander. And here, he gets the same luxury with the Conejo Oaks.
Yeah, you don't even have to turn around and look to center field when there's a ball hit there. You just know it's going to end up in Alexander's glove. Alexander's a player who takes about as efficient of routes as you can in center field. And that paired with his speed, a deadly combination on defense.
Shaq Robinson takes a fastball in the outside corner for strike 1. Friedman has been throwing phenomenally here through the first inning and a half he's thrown, or inning and 2/3 I should say, after a struggled start last Saturday. 0-1 pitch, glides inside, ball 1. Sims said he does not frame high pitches because it's a lot harder to change the eye of the umpire. So he only frames low pitches because he can start his motion upward into the strike zone or towards the left. It's hard to frame inside pitches as well. 1-1 offering, popped up but out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We've only seen 1 3-ball count here in this game, and Friedman has retired all the batters he's faced, so he remains staying ahead in the count. And for Oaks pitchers, staying ahead in the count and showing these batters that they're going straight at them is really important in this ball game. Pearson fires the 1-2. Curveball swung and missed. Friedman ends the frame the same way he ended the first inning with the strikeout, his 3rd of the ball game. He's retired 6 straight now to begin the ball game here for the Oaks. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base, no score. Top of the 3rd after this on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network.
19, Elijah.
The UTRGV product, Elijah Alexander, lead things off here for the Oaks. Welcome back, everybody. He's Jordan Brenner. My name is Jonathan Rifkin. Oaks Baseball against the Riptide right here on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. Big shout out to Jeffrey Francis, his son Dylan on the Oaks team. He'll set to start tomorrow. Thank you, Jeffrey, for all of your support here this season. First pitch from Verplank to Elijah Alexander. Bounces in the dirt for ball one. No matter how you're watching or where you're watching, we appreciate you making us a part of your Friday plans. It's been a quick first 2 innings. 2 hits for the Oaks, no hits for the Riptide. Nobody past first base. 1-0 pitch to Alexander. He bunts it down the third. Robinson's on top of it. He fires it over to first in time. What a play from the third baseman for out number 1. Alexander has not laid down a bunt all season long. Right there, tried, but just could not beat it out.
I was just about to say, Alexander has been swinging the bat so well. Surprises me that he laid down a bunt, but obviously he saw the third baseman Robinson playing a little bit far back. He wanted to try and sneak one down there and get aboard to start off the inning. Wasn't in the works.
Michael Spears now digging in. 0 for 1 today with a ground out. Slaps that one up the middle, though. A beautiful play from Hibbler. He fires it across his body. What a play from the second baseman for out number 2. Wow. 2 really great plays from the infield here for the Riptide. Put 2 quick outs up on the board in the top of the third inning. But the big bat of Brandon Lewis stepping in. He's 1 for 1 with a single. Hibbler was out of position towards the second base bag. Had to throw across his body from right to left and was able to make a heck of a play to gun down Spears, who's very quick out of the batter's box. First pitch to Lewis, ripped down to left field, and that one drops for a single. He is wasting no time in the batter's box. He's seen 2 pitches, and both have been hit for singles this ballgame.
Stay hot, Brandon Lewis. Just unfortunate nobody was on base for him to drive in right there. The Riptide's still 2 hits already this inning.
He recorded 4 strikeouts in the game against the Blues, the 6-1 win 2 days ago. And yesterday before the game, he came up to me and said, "Do you enjoy calling my strikeouts?" I said, "I'd enjoy calling more home runs." And yesterday, he hit a bomb the first pitch he saw of the ball game. So far today, 2 for 2. Sam Shakin now stepping in as Verplank deals the first pitch low for ball 1.
And
nope, called a strike. Late call here from the umpire.
And Jonathan, I think you deserve all the credit in the world for that home run from Lewis, putting that idea in his head.
No, he put the idea in my head. He initiated the conversation. So at the end of the day, I can get nowhere near the right field fence at Cal Lutheran, even though it's so short. And you'll find out tomorrow during intern BP just how not good of a hitter I am. Runner goes. The pitcher swung on a miss. The throw is in time. Brandon Lewis is gunned down for his second time all season. He's now 6 for 8 in the stealing category. And that ends the top of the third inning. The Oaks got no runs on 1 hit, no errors. They leave nobody on base. Sam Shakin will be the leadoff hitter for the Oaks in the top of the 4th. But first a break and the bottom of the third inning. No score here from Fullerton College.
Cooper.
Clemson Tiger Matthew Cooper leads things off here for the Riptide in the bottom of the third inning. No score. The Riptide have been retired 6 straight to start their first 2 innings of the ball game. They'll look to turn the tide here in the bottom of the third. Justin Freeman, who's been pitching beautifully, gets a swinging strike there. 0-1 the count here to Cooper. 3 strikeouts so far in the game. That curveball has accounted for all 3 of those strikeouts. It's been deadly so far through the first 2 frames. Offers the 0-1. Cooper takes away, evens the count. Cooper, Gray, and Dominguez, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters, due up for the Riptide. And we'll see how they respond, being shut out through the first 2 innings. They scored the second run of the ballgame yesterday after the Oaks were up 2-0. They scored 5 in the 6th inning. That pitch was swung and a miss for strike 2. But the Oaks were able to muster 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th to tie it in what was probably the most exciting ballgame on the Oaks side all season long. The Oaks trying to stay in contention for that 4th playoff spot. 1-2 pitch, swung and missed. Strike 3, Cooper goes down swinging. The 4th strikeout on the game here for Friedman, and he kicks off the 3rd inning where he left off the 2nd inning with a swinging strikeout. So far, through the first 7 batters, I think it's safe to say in his 3rd start of the season, it may be his best. Landon Gray now stepping in here, catching in today's ball game. The first offering to the southpaw, misses low for ball 1. Handful of fans in the stands, a couple to our right, a couple to our left. Full press box here, though, behind the plate. Orange County Riptide have a phenomenal production. 1-0 pitch taken for strike 1 over the heart of the plate. 1-1 the count. No runs, 3 hits for the Oaks. No runs, no hits for the Riptide. No errors on either side. Few balls have been in play. Only 2 for the Riptide. Friedman deals the 1-1. Sky to right field. Spears going back at the track at the wall. And it hits off the scoreboard for a home run. That was a quiet home run, as Gray takes the slow jog around the bases, and he breaks the score here, 1-0 in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
That was not a bad pitch from Friedman. It was located pretty well, down in the zone a little bit away. Just a superior swing from Gray, was all over it. Beautiful swing. It was a majestic high shot to right field, 1-0, just like that.
The 3rd home run allowed by Friedman all season long. That puts him in the lead on the team. Holcomb has 2 behind him. And he'll try to get out number 2 here to Jacob Dominguez. The first pitch, a strike on the outside corner. 1 hit, 1 run here for the Riptide. And at the end of the day, the score is what matters the most besides the rest of the stats. And right now, even though they only have 1 hit, it's accounted for their 1 run. 0-1 pitch, misses upstairs, evens the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Game number 2 of a home and home. The Oaks took the season series last year 3-4 against this Riptide team, though the Riptide went on to win the CCL championship. 1-1 pitch, misses the diving glove of Lewis into left field, and Dominguez gets a single here with 1 away to put a runner on first. The number 9 hitter in your lineup. That's what you want if you're the Riptide. And now we go back to the top of the order for Aaron Simpson.
Number 22, Aaron Simpson.
One of 2 Ball State players on this roster. The other one, Chase Sebi, was catching in yesterday's game. Simpson today in left field. The other one. Runner on, 1 away, 1 around in the inning. Freeman comes set from the belt. Offers the first pitch. Called a strike, and there's that frame once again from Sims. That pitch was low, but he found the part of the strike zone to get the umpire to call it. And if you're a pitcher, that is quite a luxury to have a catcher who can frame that well. Tony the rubber deals the 0-1. Popped out of play, though. 0-2 the count.
And Friedman needs to compose himself here. 2 straight hits given up today, or just right now. His first 2 hits given up of the game. A deep breath. He's still pitched a good game, and he'll get out of this inning.
Towing the rubber, checks the runner. The 0-2 offering a curveball, skied to right center field, though looks like Elijah Alexander making the run will be called off by Spears, who makes the catch for out number 2. Staying put at first base is Jacob Dominguez. A lot of speed out there on right field and center field. Alexander and Spears both can track down balls, and with a wide outfield here, expect the balls out there to carry into their gloves, except for that 1 home run by Landon Gray so far. 2 outs, 1 on, 1 around. Luke Bandy stepping in. Struck out earlier in the first inning. First pitch to him is a strike at the knees. 1 run, 2 hits for the Riptide. No runs, 3 hits for the Oaks. No errors on either side. Freeman Takes a breath calmly from the stretch, toes the rubber. 0-1 pitch popped up. The shallow right field. Spears making a run for it, and he makes the diving catch for out number 3. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. They leave a runner on base, but the Riptide have taken the lead here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's 1-0, 4th inning after this on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. Back here in the top of the 4th inning, 1-0 the score. The Riptide lead the Oaks. My name is Jonathan Rifkin, but for play-by-play of the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings, my broadcasting partner, Jordan Brenner.
Thanks, Jonathan. Wonderful job today. Sam Shaken digs in. He actually came to the plate at the end of the last inning, but Brandon Lewis was called out trying to steal second base. So Shaken digging into top out to lead off the 4th inning as he fouls the first pitch back and out of play. No balls and 1 strike. Shaken has been heating up recently after a little bit of a lackluster start to the season. He had the home run in the first game, but after that he'd gone into a little bit of a lull at the plate. A bit of a resurgence lately as he fouls another pitch back and out of play. 0-2.
And he hits that resurgence as the entire team has been heating up. They now have hit 2 consecutive games into double digits, and that's a big deal. Right now, though, a pretty quiet start to this one.
Shaken flew out to center back in the 1st inning. Yesterday, he had a double to left field. And he calls time, steps out for a second. Both starting pitchers have been pretty darn effective early on in this game. The first one to blink, however, was Justin Friedman, who gave up a solo shot to right field in the bottom half of the 3rd. Next pitch, Shaken over the jumping glove of Robinson and into left field for a base hit. He thinks about 2, but decides better if it heads back to first base with a hit, his first of the day. And for the Oaks, their 4th base hit of the day.
That's an important hit right there. The Oaks, who have had a lot of trouble mustering up runs early in ball games. They're known as a 4th quarter team, or at least that's what we've deemed them, because most of the runs come late in games. Need to find a way to get on the board early, because the Riptide, who finally got a run up on the board here, don't want to have to deal with the Oaks up on the board. But coming from behind is not something the Oaks want to do.
First pitch into Chase Cockrell, off speed and away. 1-0. Cockrell flew out to center field back in the 1st inning. No runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Oaks. A run on 2 hits, no errors for the Riptide. Next pitch into Cockrell, off speed, a high fly ball, but well foul and out of play. 1-1. Cockrell, another busy day at the plate yesterday. Drew a very impressive walk that was critical to their rally in the 9th inning. And also a double and a base hit.
And that's coming off of a game 2 days ago where he was jammed and hit a triple off of the jam shot. This guy knows how to spray that ball all over the park, and it doesn't matter what pitch is thrown. He knows how to make contact.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. A deep breath from Verplank, and the offering a slider in the dirt. Good block by Gray behind the plate. He checks on Shaken, but he hustles back to first safely. 2 balls and 1 strike. Verplank already ready to go. Sets at the belt, gets his sign and offers. Fastball a little bit low, 3 balls and 1 strike. Drew Sims is on deck. He's 1 for 1 with a base hit to center field. Though it was a bloop shot, it still counts as a base hit.
No matter how you get on, doesn't matter. They just want to get on, and that's what Sims did in his last at bat.
3-1 to Cockrell. A bouncer to the left side into the Oaks dugout. And now the count is full. No walks on either side so far.
And if you're Verplank, throw a strike. Right now he's been pitching well. Yes, Cockrell can hit, perhaps one of the best hitters in this league, but you still have to throw strikes. You don't want to walk him and put a runner in scoring position for the Oaks.
Be careful what you wish for, Jonathan. 3-2, and that's lined into left field for a base hit. Looked like an off-speed pitch. Cockrell was not fooled. And an easy swing base hit to left field. The Oaks, 2 straight singles to start off this inning, and they're in business here with Drew Sims coming to the plate.
Number 6.
And that's why I'm not a coach. I give advice, but it seems to backfire right there. I recommend that Verplank throw a strike. He threw a strike, and Cockrell roped it into left.
Well, at the end of the day, it's the same as giving up a base hit. It just looks better for Cockrell, and it looks worse for Verplank. And a quick meeting on the mound between Gray and Verplank. The meeting is adjourned, discussing how to possibly approach Drew Sims, who, in terms of sheer body size, has to be top 3 on the Oaks.
His dad's only 5'10", too, so he must have gotten a recessive gene.
First pitch in there for a strike. No balls, 1 strike, but to the UVU baseball player.
Wolverine.
Wolverine. Thank you.
My pleasure. Little mascot mania here.
Verplank offers in the dirt. Did Sims go? Yes, he did. No balls, 2 strikes. The Oaks have compiled 5 hits. Nothing to show for it yet, but runners on first and second here with nobody out. This would be a prime time to do it. Sims got a base hit with 2 strikes earlier this game, and he hits a dribbler to the right side. That's going to act as a sacrifice. Moving over to third base, Shaken, and over to second, Cockrell. Effective as a sacrifice bunt, but it'll go down as a 1-3 putout.
Doesn't matter how you move him. Drew Sims got the job done here. Now the Oaks have the tying runner 90 feet away from scoring. And for a team that's been struggling to score runs early, a big spot for the Oaks and for Tyler Ryan. All he needs to do is put a ball in play far enough in the outfield to score Sam Shaken on the right side of the infield, and the Oaks could be in business.
Yeah, Tyler Ryan, 16 strikeouts, now 17 strikeouts on the year. Struck out earlier in this game, takes the first pitch in the dirt, 1-0. And you're right, Jonathan, the job here is to get the bat on the ball and put it somewhere in the outfield. And hopefully, with Shaken on third base, he has enough speed to hustle home to tie this ball game up. Shaken hitting third today, but he's hit leadoff multiple times this year. We know he has some wheels.
But with how Michael Spears has been batting, I understand why he's batting in the third spot.
I agree with you.
Doesn't matter, though, where Shaken's put in, he's always made the most of it.
So Tyler Ryan now ready for the 1-0 offering. Verplank agrees with the sign, now fires a pitch in the dirt. Shaken begins to come home as the ball slips away from Gray, but Shaken's going to retreat back to third. The count is 2-0. Bart West on deck, followed by Tanner Wright.
Tyler Ryan showing the patience here, and that's important because now Verplank is in a precarious spot. You have 2 runners in scoring position. You're behind in the count. You have to take your time, try to regain control of this at-bat because right now Tyler Ryan, who's worked the count into his favor, may be looking for a strike that Verplank has thrown. We've seen him miss over the heart of the plate to Cockrell on the 3-2 count. With Tyler Ryan ahead here as we see the Riptide coach stride out to the mound. You don't want to miss because if you miss, that could be trouble for the Riptide.
So another meeting on the mound, the second of the inning. As Ryan waits patiently, has a quick word with Gray, And now it looks like Trainer's going to go out and check on Verplank. Not sure what happened, but it looks like he might be coming out of the ball game, grabbing his right arm. So we'll get you the final line on Verplank and the new pitcher when we come back. Runners on second and third with an out. The score is 1-0 in favor of the Riptide. You're listening to Oaks Baseball on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. So Bryce Verplank leaves the game, we think with an injury. His final line, 3 1/3 innings, 5 hits, no runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. The side armor, Doug McGee, going to come into the game and relieve Verplank with runners on second and third and 1 out. So quite the task for Verplank, but he has been quite good this season. In 8 innings pitched, he's pitched to a 2.25 ERA, and he's also added 7 strikeouts. So Tyler Ryan, he also, I should add, is coming into this at-bat already down 2-0. So one of the hardest positions for a reliever to be put in. A few more warm-up pitches for McGee, who wasn't warming up before this inning, so he gets a few extras because it was just a complete surprise that he was coming into this ball game.
Yeah, Doug McGee from Orange Coast College. Last season at 14 appearances. Overall, 13.5 ERA for OCC.
The Oaks so far have added 5 hits. They have yet to be able to score, as we get the signal from the umpire that McGee will throw only 2 more, and now 1 more warm-up pitch before stepping in. And that was a similar story to yesterday's game, where the Oaks compiled a lot of hits, and they really weren't able to put up a lot of runs until the 8th and 9th inning.
Runners left on base has been that Achilles heel for the Oaks all season long. They had 9 left on base going into the 10th inning yesterday. And it's important that they find a way to muster in these runs, because you cannot leave runners in scoring position, especially when you get them in that place with 1 out and 2-0 count here to Tyler Ryan.
So Ryan digs in already ahead 2-0. The side armor McGee gets his sign in his first pitch of the afternoon. Will come in a second. He steps off the mound. Now the 2-0 pitch. Slider in there for a strike, 2 balls and 1 strike, and the Oaks have a couple side armors of their own. Joe Torres out of the bullpen, also Angus Denton. I think this is the first submariner we've seen from an opposing team this year, though, Jonathan.
Yeah, I agree. I don't remember another time where the Oaks have faced one.
2-1, a slow slider, and Ryan well out in front of that one. Count even at 2.
Yeah, no matter how fast you're throwing sliders, as long as it's effective and you get batters swinging and missing, that's what matters. These sliders almost look like meatballs and has Tyler Ryan way out ahead.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Ryan's job is to put the ball in play here, whatever he can do to do that. The 2-2 pitch, another slider, another swing and a miss. Ryan goes down swinging for his second strikeout of the day, the first strikeout for Doug McGee out of the bullpen, who comes in with a 2-0 count and proceeds to throw 3 of some of the most beautiful sliders we've seen all season.
All 3 outside, 1 caught the outside corner, the other 2 were swung on and missed. Great first 3 pitches here from the OCC product.
So Bart West up to drive in some runners. First pitch, a fastball on the outer half, 0-1. West turns back to the umpire, asks him where that ball was. And I'm sure the umpire answered right on the outside corner. 0-1 pitch. Cockrell at second, Shaken at third. Slider just a bit outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
The only problem with the slider that's that slow is that if the Oaks can pick up on it, which they have picked up on slow pitchers earlier in the season, they'll start hitting it. So you have to be able to mix up your speeds, mix up your pitches here if you're McGee to try to keep the Oaks off balance.
1-1 offering, a slider swung on and missed again. 1-2.
He has thrown 1 fastball, but the rest of his pitches have been sliders so far in this outing for McGee.
So now 1 pitch away from getting the strikeout and getting out of this inning. A long look in for McGee. Finally agrees with his catcher Gray. Now sets and offers. Fastball outside, 2-2.
That's a good pitch. You start out West with a fastball and then a slider. Another slider, and West takes another slider outside, or excuse me, a fastball outside. Switching up those pitches if you're McGee is important. He did that right there, but just couldn't find the zone.
A 2-2 pitch with 2 outs. A slider fouled back to the screen, and we'll do 2-2 again. And a little bit of a moral victory maybe for the Oaks, the first time they've at least touched the slider of Doug McGee.
Yeah, but they don't want moral victories. They want to drive in runners, and right here they're in danger of stranding those runners in scoring position, and they had them with 1 away, so another Achilles heel for the Oaks. We've seen it time and time again. Possible runners left in scoring position.
2-2 slider, what a take from West. It floats outside, and the count is full, 3-2. Tanner Wright on deck if the inning continues. Three balls, 2 strikes. McGee gets his sign, sets, and offers a slider. At the knees, called strike 3 to West. So McGee comes out of the bullpen, proceeds to strike out 2 Oaks, and strand 2 runners in scoring position. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, and a couple stranded. 1-0 in favor of the Riptide. We're through 3.5 innings. From Fullerton College, you're watching Oaks Baseball on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. We'll be right back.
Mason Hibbler.
Mason Hibbler leads off the top of the fourth inning, or the bottom of the fourth inning, excuse me. And Justin Friedman back on the hill, delivers a fastball that's lined into left field for a base hit for Hibbler. He recovers from his first inning strikeout and is on base to lead off this fourth inning. In between innings, Coach Solis was having a conversation with the on-plate umpire, presumably because he wasn't very happy with the low strike pitch to Bart West. He thought that slider was low. It was very close. I'm not sure if it was a ball. But to give the home plate umpire credit, he has been consistent on that call all day. First pitch into Austin Soika, swung on and missed. 0-1.
And we just talked to a local scout here for the Braves, Jack, and he was explaining to us the speed of those sliders by McGee. He said they were touching around 60 miles an hour, perhaps the slowest off speeders we've seen all season.
0-1 pitch, a chopper over to shortstop, shaking tags second base and fires over to first for an unassisted 6-3 double play. What a play by Shaken. Heads up to not pitch that over to right. He thought he'd take it himself, and he succeeds.
I think Sam Shaken has established himself as one of the premier infielders in the CCL. He is just so reliable out there in the middle infield. Anytime a ground ball is out there, if you're a pitcher, you know that he'll at least make a play on it.
Fastball taken away to the new hitter, Brandon Alamo. 1-0. And Alamo in the second inning, in his only at-bat, flew out to center field from Oklahoma Wesleyan University. 1-0 pitch, change-up, down and away, 2-0. And as a pitcher, you love having a player like Shaken behind you because he steals outs for you. You know, that ball wasn't very hard hit from Soika, but the ability of Shaken allowed it to be a double play. The next pitch, lifted high and out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 balls and 1 strike. Friedman peers in, kicks and offers. Bounces another changeup, 3 balls and 1 strike.
That was about 2 feet in front of the plate. It wasn't even close. The release point looked to be a little bit off. We normally see him release out over his shoulder right there. He brought his arm around and then released, and that's what accounted for that ball bouncing in the dirt.
Friedman has not walked a hitter today. The 3-1 pitch outside, and there's the first one. Alamo reaches base, the second runner to reach base of the inning, but now the only runner on base, as Sims is going to go have a quick word with his pitcher as Shaq Robinson comes in to hit. Struck out in the second inning. Friedman has been showing off the strikeout stuff today. 4 strikeouts already, and we're not even through the 4th inning.
But 1 big run given up, and that's been the difference in the ballgame.
First pitch into Robinson. Fastball grounded over through the left side, a base hit. Hibbler will stand on second base. Robinson on first base. And now 2 hits given up in the inning.
Nice hit there from Robinson, towing that spot in between Shaken at short and Lewis at third. Lewis made a diving effort, just couldn't quite tip that ball back, and that's a good hit right there for the Riptide, trying to extend this inning and push the lead if they can. 1 run is not safe, but a couple of insurance runs would really have the Oaks fighting to get back into this game.
Matthew Cooper stepping in out of Clemson. First pitch down and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Players from the Riptide from all over the country. Local, East Coast, West Coast. Next pitch, called strike on the outer half, 1-1. Robinson off of first base. Hibbler off of second base. Friedman, a long look over at second base. Hibbler and him seem to have a staring contest right there. Shaken and Wright weren't covering.
I wonder who blinks first.
1-1 pitch, a line shot in and out of the glove of Wright, and it's now recovered by Wright, who runs it back Did he catch it?
Regardless, it's an out, and I think that's matter. We'll get the official score here in just a moment. They're going to call it an error, and then a recover, and then a 4-6 put out to end the inning.
Well, either way, no runs, 2 hits, an error, and 2 men left on base. We are through 4 full innings, 1-0 in favor of the Riptide. We'll be right back. You're watching Oaks Baseball on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. Tanner Wright digs in to lead off the 5th inning. Wright is 0 for 1 today with a ground out to the shortstop. And back on the mound, Doug McGee, who has struck out 2 hitters already today. The first pitch upstairs, 1-0.
And we got official word on that last out in the bottom of the 4th inning. It was not an error, just a force out to second base, so no error for Tanner Wright.
1-0 pitch, a ground ball up the middle on the back end, fielded by Hibbler. Across his body, fires over to first, but he can't beat Wright. He's on first base, presumably with a base hit. But we'll get the official score to you in just a moment.
Because Hibbler was out of position going across his body, that should be a base hit, but we're awaiting again the official score, and it is a hit.
And it is a hit, so Wright's on first base, 1 for 2. And the next hitter, Elijah Alexander. Alexander has been heating up at the plate, notably 2 days ago. He had a chance to hit for the cycle in his last at-bat, but in his first appearance, he bunted. First pitch to him, lined out of play to the left side, 0-1.
Now Tanner Wright on first. The Oaks have hit safely in all 5 innings of this ball game, but they have yet to bring anybody around. They've stranded 2 in scoring position in the last inning.
Next pitch into Alexander. McGee peers in for a long while, now sets. And the throw over to first, right back in safely. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Lined foul, 0-2.
And Max Weinstein, look out. He was right in the line of that ball, able to take a step out of the way. But last thing the Oaks first base coach needs to do is get in the way of a ball while he's trying to be signed by a major league team.
Now 0-2 to Alexander. Here's the pitch. Slider stays outside, 1-2.
And Tanner Wright might think about running with how slow these sliders are. If he can pick up on one, he could probably be halfway to second base before that ball even reaches the glove of the catcher.
McGee's 1-2 offering. Swing and a high drive. Will it stay fair? Did he make the play? The third baseman, I can't see. No. I'm sorry, folks. There is a piece of brick in my way. I had no idea what happened there.
It's okay. We couldn't catch it on the camera either because it was actually past the Oaks dugout. So everybody in the press box's vantage point was cut off. We had to wait for the umpire's signal before we could officially call that one dropped and another foul ball.
So still 1-2 to Alexander. McGee peers in. in his crouched formation, delivers the pitch. Fly ball to center field. Bandy rotates over, makes the easy grab for the first out of the inning. And Tanner Wright retreats back to first base. Michael Spears, the new hitter.
Michael Spears.
Spears has been hitting the ball hard as of late. Today is not an exception, even though he has grounded out to second base 2 times today. First pitch to Spears, slider, floats away, 1-0.
It's so hard to take that pitch because it starts out over the heart of the plate, and because it's so slow, there's a late break and finally glides outside. Spears showing the restraint right there.
Throw over to first, right back in safely. No runs, 6 hits, and no errors for the Oaks. A run on 4 hits, no errors for the Riptide. Next pitch, swung on and missed. The slider down and away. Spears couldn't reach it. Brandon Lewis is on deck. He has hit 2 shots to left field. He's 2 for 2 with 2 base hits. A big lead over at first base for Wright. The 1-1 offering in there. Called a strike at the knees, 1-2. One of the deepest center fields in the CCL. 405 to dead center, but the wind is blowing out there. So playing a little shorter, the throw over to first, right back in again. McGee does not want that runner to get into scoring position. 1 out in the inning, the 1-2 pitch. Slider down on the way, Wright steals second base, and he's in there safely. It was a pretty good throw from Gray, but the slider allowed Wright to get an immaculate jump in there safely.
And that's an important stolen base. I alluded earlier that Wright should be taking second base with how slow those sliders are. It's pretty hard to get thrown out on a 60 to 65 mile an hour slider when you get a good jump, and Wright pretty quickly was able to swipe second base.
Wright is now 4 for 5 stealing this year. 2-2 pitch to Spears, swung on and missed. Down in the dirt, he goes down for the 3rd time today. The 3rd strikeout for Doug McGee, and now he faces perhaps his biggest challenge yet, as Brandon Lewis, the 3rd baseman out of UC Irvine, steps in.
And Lewis is due for a big hit. He is 2 for 2 today, and he's been seeing the ball so well. He picks up on slow pitches probably better than any Oaks batter. So if he can pick up on one of these sliders, the Riptide better be ready for a hard hit ball.
I think it's safe to say that every time Brandon Lewis steps into a batter's box, he's due for a big hit.
That's why he's one of the best in the league.
Runner on second base. Pitch to Lewis. He swings through a first pitch slider. 0-1.
Beautiful pitch right there. Had Lewis way out ahead of it.
Tanner Wright hit a base hit. He stole second base. He's in scoring position now with 2 outs. The 0-1 pitch to Lewis. A liner to left field. Drops down for a base hit. Wright will score. Lewis over to second base with a stand-up double. The Oaks tie the game 1-1 here in the top of the 5th inning.
Jordan, you called it. Every time Brandon Lewis steps to the plate, everybody has to be aware because he has the ability to just absolutely rope pitches, and he picked up on that one right there. Towed the line, kept it fair, and just like that, we have a tie ball game.
And a lot of credit has to be given to Tanner Wright. Getting to second base, getting into scoring position, doing what he can to manufacture a run. Now Sam Shaken takes a first pitch slider at the top of the zone, 0-1. Shaken hit a base hit to left field his last time up, floated it in there. He also flew out to center field in the 1st inning, batting 3rd today. Another Oaks hitter who has bounced around the lineup. Next pitch, shaking a ground ball to the third baseman, fielded by Robinson. Over to first, they get shaken by a couple steps. But Brandon Lewis ropes a double down the left field line to even this game at 1. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, a runner left on base. 1-1 ball game. We're through 4.5 innings. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Oaks Baseball on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network.
Leading off from University of Tennessee, number 12, Landon Gray.
Landon Gray leads off the bottom of the 5th inning. The Oaks squaring this ball game up at 1. First pitch in there to Gray, but outside, 1-0. Gray, a member of the Tennessee Volunteers. That's where he plays his collegiate baseball. The 1-0 offering from Friedman. A big curveball catches the outside corner. A ball and a strike.
That curveball has been working for Friedman all game long. And right there, he shows you what he does with it. Releases over his shoulder. He's able to place it from the top of zone, curving down for strike.
Next pitch, spiked in the dirt, 2-1. And for the second consecutive day, we have quite an exciting ball game between the Oaks and the Riptide. Maybe a rivalry brewing.
He's mostly bounced that changeup today so far.
2-1 offering, outside corner, called a strike, 3-1. 2-2. Friedman peers in for a sign, kicks and offers. The 2-2 pitch, a changeup, swung on and missed. A beautiful one at that. Gray goes down swinging, despite the fact that he homered his last time up. And on the game, that is the 5th strikeout for Justin Friedman.
And that was the first changeup, perhaps, that hasn't been bounced in the dirt for Friedman all game long, and he finally gets a strikeout on it.
Beautiful pitch indeed. New hitter Jacob Dominguez hit a base hit in his only at-bat. First pitch, a curveball. Had a lot of movement. It's downstairs, 1-0. A deep breath for Friedman. The 1-0 pitch. Fastball cracked up the middle. Past the glove of Shaken and into center field for a base hit. Dominguez, 2 for 2 on the day. He reaches first base with an out in the inning, and the new hitter, Aaron Simpson, will try and get him over or in.
University, number 22, Aaron Simpson.
And that was a great idea from the coaching staff for the Riptide, specifically their head coach, Jason Smith, for putting Dominguez in that 9 spot. That doesn't mean necessarily the 9 spot is occupied by the worst batter. Here, Dominguez 2 for 2. You want your 9-hole hitter to be able to hit and get on base, because now you get your best hitters to try to drive him around.
First pitch to Simpson. Fastball catches the corner, 0-1. Simpson a fly out to left field, a fly out to right field in the first and third innings. Now in for his 3rd plate appearance here in the 5th. Friedman checks the runner at first base, peers in and fires. Fastball cracked to the second baseman, right, Shaken. The relay over to first, got him in time. A 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. The score even at 1 through 5 full innings. You're watching Oaks Baseball on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. New pitcher on the mound, Tyler Frazier, replaces Doug McGee. And McGee went 1 2/3 innings, gave up 2 hits, a run, and struck out 3 batters. Chase Cockrell digs in there. The first pitch, a curveball called strike, and that was a looper. Frazier on the year has gone 8 innings. He has a 4.50 ERA, and he has struck out 9 batters. Next pitch is a ball, 1-1.
And one of 2 pitchers on this staff headed to the University of Oregon. We saw Jack Noble yesterday go 4 innings, give up 5 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. The Ducks are in need of pitchers, so it's nice to see a couple developing here in the CCL.
Needing pitching is an understatement for the Ducks.
We can go into hours of Oregon baseball if we needed to.
1-1 pitch, ground ball over to the shortstop, Dominguez over to first. Easy play to get Cockrell on the 6-3 putout to start the inning.
Number 6, Drew Sims.
Drew Sims now in, 1 for 2. A pop out in the 4th inning, a base hit to center field in the 2nd inning. Curveball inside, 1-0.
Hard take there from Sims, but a wise one. He held back and was able to get ball 1 up on the board. The Oaks need to stay ahead of these counts because runs have been hard to come by.
1-0 pitch, swung on and missed. Looked like a changeup, 1-1. The 1-1 offering spiked in the dirt, 2-1. 2-1 now to Sims. He digs back in there. The pitch from Frazier, down low again, 3-1. On this day in baseball history, June 29th, the Chicago Colts of the National League scored the most runs in a game by one team in an obliteration, as the 3-1 pitch is swung on a miss to make the count full.
Can I guess how many runs?
Guess how many runs, Jonathan?
28.
You're wrong.
Really?
It was a 36-7 dismantling of the Louisville Colonials. And the 3-2 pitch swung on and missed. Sims is tagged out for the 2nd out of the inning. The first strikeout on the day for Tyler Frazier.
Was that a tag or a bear hug from behind?
And it was actually, the Louisville
Number 34, Tyler Ryan.
Colonels.
Colonels.
Colonels?
Spelled colonel, look pronounced colonel.
I got to do some more reading.
I'll give you some good books.
First pitch outside, 1-0 to Tyler Ryan. Ryan has struck out in both plate appearances today. I'm thoroughly embarrassed, Jonathan.
You shouldn't be that embarrassed. Maybe a little bit.
1-0 pitch inside and low, 2-0. I am what's wrong with our generation.
I strongly disagree with that statement. You're probably one of the bright spots.
2-0 pitch in there, called a strike. Thank you, Jonathan.
My pleasure. I always got you, Jordan Brenner.
Tyler Ryan hit about 270 this past year at the University of Pacific. I talked with Tyler. He said what he's working on most is striking out less and hitting more home runs. Trying to ride the current wave in Major League Baseball, the launch angle wave, everybody trying to hit home runs every time they come to the plate. 2-1 pitch to Ryan, down and away. Now 3 balls and 1 strike.
But I think for Ryan, contact right now is more important. He's been striking out a lot. He's been swinging at bad pitches. So to be able to get out of that mindset and just put bat to ball is more important right now in this development.
3-1 taken down low first, and that now to appeal over to the first base umpire. But Ryan was already 3/4 of the way to the first base. Desperately wanted to get there, and he is there.
Number 26.
And how about the first walk drawn by the Oaks all game long? They only drew 2 yesterday, though they did have 17 hits. A bit quieter on the offensive side thus far, but that's a good sign from Tyler Ryan.
Bart West, 2 strikeouts as well today. Takes a first pitch. Fastball at the knees. 0-1. West sat out most of this year. I think he appeared in a few games at USC, but
Medically redshirt.
yeah, medical redshirt, so still 4 years of eligibility at the Pac-12 school. Fastball inside, 1-1.
But he is so good. The Trojans are going to have a bright young star on their offensive end because of what he's been able to do so far in his rehab over the summer.
They're over to first base. Ryan slides back in safely. And good that the Pac-12 is starting to see more talent. Obviously, Oregon State on top, taking home a national championship, but the depth within the Pac-12 has not been that great. West steps out. It's mostly dominated by Stanford, UCLA, and Oregon State this past year, but other than that, not much talent. 1-1, called a strike, 1-2.
And Bart and I actually talked about that on the bus on the way over here, about the Pac-12 depth and how Oregon State has lost a lot of their players, how UCLA has lost some of their pitchers, Stanford has lost some of their pitchers, and right now there's no clear number 1 team upcoming, with the exception of Oregon State. They have gotten a lot of fabulous recruits. Arizona does have some good pitchers as well.
1-2, swung on a missed. And West goes down swinging for the 3rd time today. Frazier strikes out his first 2 batters of the inning. The Oaks strand a runner, no runs, no hits, no errors, and Tyler Ryan stranded at first base. 5.5 have come and gone. The score is 1-1. We're back for the bottom of the 6th inning right after this on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. Luke Bandy takes the first pitch off the plate, 1-0. And Justin Friedman still on the mound. The 1-0 pitch on its way. Fastball cracked back. And off, I think, the camera for the Riptide broadcast.
Yeah, that was right off their iPad. Thank God for the screen here, because that would have absolutely shattered that piece of technology.
That would have been bad for the iPad.
I don't think they're worried about the iPad. I think they're worried about their broadcast.
I was just trying to make a rhyme.
I don't think you did a great job there, Brooke Gordon.
Just don't pay attention to me. The 1-1 pitch in the dirt, 2-1. And we talked about how the field here at Fullerton College reminds us of Wrigley Field. The ivy all over the ballpark as the 2-1 pitch is fired in, cracked back out of play. So I thought I'd give an interesting story about Wrigley Field. Back in, I believe, 1913, there was a ball hit out, and it actually landed into a valve in a baked bean shop as the 2-2 pitch is swung on and missed for a strikeout. The 6th on the day for Justin Friedman. Bandy goes down swinging, actually goes down striking out for the 2nd time today. So anyway, the baseball lands into the valve in this baked bean shop. Pressure builds, and all of a sudden, the valve and the entire bean shop explodes as there's a ground ball over to Shaken at short. He fields over to first in time for the 2nd out of the inning. Anyway, everything explodes, and then everybody in the right field pavilion spent the rest of the game covered in beans.
I'm sure some were very happy, and I'm sure some were not so happy.
Well, it was a free meal.
Exactly, and I think that those who, in 1913, were making low income a couple of cents an hour, they were probably happy about the free meal.
First pitch, cracked back out of play, 0-1 to Austin Soika. And Jonathan, we actually had baked beans of our own a few days ago up in San Luis Obispo. A great ballpark food, perhaps the best in the CCL in San Luis Obispo. Ground ball over to Lewis, backhand. The throw over to first in time to West to end the inning. A quick 1-2-3 frame for Justin Friedman. He is now through 6 full innings of work. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. 6 have come and gone. The score is 1-1. You're watching Oaks Baseball on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network.
Number 1, Tanner Wright.
Tanner Wright digs in to lead off the top of the 7th inning in a 1-1 ball game. And for play-by-play in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings, my wonderful broadcasting partner, Jonathan Rifkind.
And to my incredible broadcasting partner, Jordan Brenner, I thank you. You did a wonderful middle of the 3 innings as Tanner Wright steps in. As you mentioned, the first pitch there from Frazier is taken for strike 1. Right on the ball game, has the lone run scored for the Oaks. He singled and grounded out in 2 trips. He also has a stolen base as Tyler Frazier steps off here. He's faced 4 batters, has accumulated 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. And a ground out. Swung on a miss for that one, though. 0-2 to Tanner Wright. And you were talking about baked beans in 1913 and how Wrigley was showered in it. And we went back and we looked at the price. It was 4 cents for baked beans in 1913. So you know what? If you get a bunch of those as that ball misses low and away, 1-2 the count, I'm sure you're very happy out in right field because not only is it a free meal, but you're avoiding some inflation as that pitch misses outside. 2-2 the count, because 4 cents back in the day was not a lot of money, obviously, but if you can accumulate a handful of baked beans, you're saving a handful of money. 2-2 pitch, called strike 3 on the inside corner. Tanner Wright goes down looking. The first out here in the 7th inning. The first strikeout in the, the third strikeout for Tyler Frazier, and the Oaks have struck out now 8 times in the ballgame. 1 run, 7 hits, no errors for the visiting Oaks. 1 run, 5 hits, no errors for the home team Riptide. These two teams tied it up yesterday in the bottom of the 9th inning. That game will be played out on July 15th. First pitch to Elijah Alexander, misses outside for ball 1.
And Jonathan, usually you test me on trivia, but I think I'm going to get you a question.
Oh, no.
Speaking of 1913, I'll get you the question after this pitch.
That pitch called a strike at the knees.
Speaking of 1913, there were 2 U.S. presidents.
Woodrow Wilson and Taft. Thank you.
That was not my question.
Oh, okay. I thought you were testing my U.S. history knowledge.
It was my question. Who am I kidding?
One of my lone A's in AP in high school. That pitch misses up and away, 2-1 the count.
That was very impressive, Jonathan. That was very impressive.
William Howard Taft, the vice president. Woodrow Wilson, the president, back in 1913. Frazier toes the rubber, offers the 2-1. Crack to left field, shallow, though Simpson makes the catch for out number 2. I appreciate you trying to test my knowledge, but you're going to have to try a little bit better than that if you're going to stump me. But I think we're good for today. Let's try again tomorrow.
Will do. I'm going to spend literally all night doing extensive research in my local library and compiling information so I have stuff to choose from so I can test you intellectually on that trivia.
First pitch here to Michael Spears, misses away for ball 1. Spears is 0 for 3 today, a pair of groundouts and a strikeout to his game. Played 24 games at Ole Miss this past season, no starts, and batted 124. 1-0 offering. Misses low, 2-0 the count. Two-0 offering here from Frazier. A strike on the outside corner, 2-1 the count. Spears takes a couple of practice swings. One of 2 Ole Miss products on this Oaks team. Frazier deals the 2-1. A strike at the knees, 2-2 the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away here. Top of the 7th inning in a 1-1 ball game. Already in our 2nd hour, almost of play. 2-2 offering here from Frazier. Cracked down the line, but foul. We'll do it again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Second half of a home-and-home between these two teams. Tomorrow, the Oaks will host a 2-game homestand against the Pacific Union Capitalists. I'll be on the call tomorrow. Jordan Brenner will have the solo call on Sunday. 2-2 pitch, cut back into the glove of Gray for strike number 3. 2 strikeouts in the inning, puts no runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base, up in the scorebook. Still tied at 1. 7th inning stretch time. Get up, stretch, and get ready for the final 3 innings of this game. You're watching Oaks Baseball on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. Friedman will be back out for his 7th inning after this.
from Stony Brook University.
We're all knotted up here at 1-1. Hope you enjoyed the 7th inning stretch. I hope you're enjoying your Friday afternoon turned evening. No matter how you're watching or where you're watching, we appreciate you making Oaks baseball a part of your Friday plans. Austin Soika, actually it's Brandon Alamo leading things off here in the bottom of the 7th. Takes a first pitch ball from Friedman. 1-0 the count. Friedman going to the 7th inning now has eclipsed the longest start by an Oaks all season long. Dylan Francis has gone 6 full innings. That was previously the longest start for an Oak as he deals the 1-0 offering. Alamo hops it over to second on the second hop. Tanner Wright fields it over to first for out number 1. Wright, perhaps the shortest fielder out there for the Oaks, has been pretty impeccable in the field all season long. Shows off the arm, shows off the speed, gets out number 1 up here in the bottom of the 7th inning. That'll bring up Shaq Robinson now, 1 for 2 on the ball game, a single and a strikeout. He was the 3rd strikeout victim for Friedman, the 3rd of 7. First pitch, misses outside for ball 1.
And Jonathan, I'll mention, no Oaks starter has pitched 7 innings this year. Did I miss that? I must have been calculating that thought in my mind right when you were saying it.
1-0 pitch here from Friedman. Robinson takes up and away, 2-0 the count. And I'll ignore that fact that you may or may not have been listening to me when I said that twice, but don't worry about it, Jordan. They'll have another shot. 1 run, 7 hits, no errors for the Oaks. 1 run, 5 hits, no errors for the Riptide. Riptide clinging on to that second spot in the CCL as that pitch cracked back, and it actually once again hits that iPad. That iPad is a ball magnet here behind in the press box. 2-1 the count. Had the entire press box on a springboard. Everybody stood up really quickly to try to save it. Happily, though, it's still safe and sound as they prop it up. 2-0 offering here from Friedman. Cracked up the middle, shaken. Over to West. A motif-this ball game for out number 2. A pair of groundouts, now 4 in a row that have accounted for the last 4 outs for the Riptide going back to the 6th inning. Puts out number 2 up on the board. And Matthew Cooper, who's 0 for 2, grounded to a fielder's choice 4, 6, and a strikeout, steps in here. Hope everybody's enjoying their Friday evening. It's been a long week, perhaps the longest in terms of playing for the Oaks. We were in Healdsburg last week. It's the first pitch, misses low and away for ball 1. The Oaks had 3 games up there, a doubleheader and a 100-plus heat on Saturday. They lost both those games 11-4 and 11-2. On Sunday, they took one from Healdsburg, 8-1, as the 1-0 pitch upstairs, ball 2. On Monday, the Oaks had a day off. Then they lost to the Ventura County Bucks on Tuesday. Had to go up to slow on Wednesday, beat the Blues 6-1, and then tied up the ball game yesterday, 8-8 into the bottom of the 9th, as that 2-0 pitch was swung and missed, 2-1. The rest of that game will be played on July 15th. But this is the last road game for the Oaks until next Saturday, when they have to finish up their game in La Mirada against the Catch and then play another game against the Catch. 2-1 pitch, cracked foul. 2-2 the count here to Cooper. And then after next week, the Oaks will have to play, after that Saturday away game on Sunday, the following day, the Oaks will have to play a doubleheader in Compton. Really rough road schedule for the Oaks next weekend. 2-2 pitch, bounces in the dirt. 3-2 the count now to Cooper. But the Oaks have been playing well so far. They're 2-2 in their last 4 road games, and it hasn't been easy. Going up to Slow, going up to Healdsburg. There was no air conditioning on Saturday night in the 100-plus heat for the team. It was a brutal road trip. You can read all about it in the Acorn that posted about the Oaks trip as that pitch misses up and in for ball 4. A 2-out walk here drawn by Cooper. Puts a runner on first. Only the second walk all game for Friedman into the 7th inning, and that'll bring up Landon Gray.
Of Tennessee, number 12, Landon Gray.
But this team has really faced a lot of adversity, not on the baseball field, but elsewhere, and they've really fought through to try and improve their record. And right now, that offense is finally picking up as head coach Solis walks out to the mound and has a conversation. Dave Solis, in his 11th year with the team, his 8th year as head coach, he's also on double duty, a pitching coach and a head coach. Coach Hernandez, the former Oaks pitching coach, announced his retirement 2 seasons ago. And for the last 2 seasons, head coach Solis has been the pitching coach as well as the manager, one of the most highly touted managers in the CCL. He's been coaching for over 20 years, 19 years at Rio Mesa, and a couple of years at Cal State LA before that. Meeting breaks, Landon Gray will step in. He had a home run to account for the lone run for the Riptide all game long back in the third inning. Also struck out in the fifth. Looks like the Oaks had Joe Torres up and warming up, but it's hard for us to tell from our vantage point as that pitch is a strike. Beautiful frame there from Sims, 0-1 the count. Wind still steadily blowing out to center. There was a lot of activity going on here in Fullerton College as Friedman deals. Runner goes. Pitch is cracked foul, though. 0-2 the count. There was a swim meet going on in the pools over to our right. Very busy out there. There were a lot of vendors selling local crafts. It was actually a very refreshing sight. You don't often see local products being sold, especially at a community college, but they were tending to the large amount of fans at the swim meet, and why not? A lot of activity here in the area. 0-2 pitch, cracked in between short and third in the left field. Landon Gray gets on his second hit of the ball game, and the Riptide have a runner in scoring position here now. Runners on first and second with 2 away in the bottom of the 7th. Only the 6th hit given up all day here from Friedman.
Number 15, Jacob Dominguez.
And he's been a workhorse here on the mound as Jacob Dominguez steps in. He's 2 for 2. And if he can find a way to muster up another single, the Riptide could take the lead. Feel free to tweet at us at Caneo_Oaks. I'm at Johnny Riff. He's at Jordan Brenner 31. Or chat with us in our YouTube live chat. Always love to hear from friends or foes as the first pitch is fouled down across the plate for strike one. Questions, comments, concerns. You want to get a shout out? You have a piece of information you'd like us to know? Of course, Jeffrey Francis, we always appreciate you interacting with us on the YouTube live chat. Your son Dylan will be going tomorrow against the Pacific Union Capitalists, and Dylan has been incredible for the Oaks all season long out of Cal Poly Pomona. We're very excited to see him go tomorrow. Leads the Oaks with a .63 ERA and 14 and a third innings pitched. He also has 18 strikeouts. Expect that total to go up tomorrow. 0-1 pitch, a strike on the outside corner. Dominguez finds himself behind in the count, 0-2.
One more pitch for Friedman to finish off this day strong. Don't want to leave on a sour note.
Big lead off of second for Cooper. Gray a step off of first base. Dominguez looking to protect now. Friedman deals. Cracked over to second. Tanner Wright will take it. Underhand to Shaken covering second. The 4-6 gets us out of the second inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. 2 left on base. Time for the top of the 8th after the break. The Oaks will have Brandon Lewis, Sam Shaken, and Chase Cockrell, the dangerous 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up. On the other side of this break, you're watching Oaks Baseball on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. We'll be right back. Back here for baseball in the top of the 8th inning. 1-1 the score. Jordan Brenner, myself, Jonathan Rifkin, delighted to be with you on a beautiful Friday evening from Fullerton. Brandon Lewis, who's only seen 5 pitches all game and is 3 for 3, will step in. That's that. Brought to you from Jacob Plack, our wonderful statistician here. First pitch, misses low and away for ball 1. New pitcher on the mound is Chad Wilson from La Mirada High School. 2.25 ERA in 4 innings pitched. Tyler Frazier's day is done. Gave up no runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. 1-0 pitch here to Lewis, misses inside, 2-0 the count. And Brandon Lewis has been working quickly, a pair of singles and a double to his days so far, as well as an RBI. He now has 10 RBIs on the season, which is tied for first on the team. 2-0 offering. Fastball, cracked down the line, but foul, 2-1 the count here to Lewis. Lewis was originally committed to CSUN last year, after playing a year at Pierce Junior College, but decommitted, along with a few other Oaks, and was picked up by UC Irvine back in February, where he committed, and he is going to be really good for them, let me tell you. 2-1 pitch here to him. Misses low and away, ball 3. And Jordan, remember a couple of weeks ago we talked about on Mascot Mania here on the broadcast the sound that the Anteater makes from UC Irvine. Do you remember what sound that was? 3-1 pitch misses outside, ball 4. Second walk drawn on the game for the Oaks. And Wilson walks the first batter he sees on 4 straight pitches. Actually, excuse me, 5 pitches.
I can't say I do remember.
At UC Irvine, they have one of the more fun cheers. The Anteater, they hold up their fingers and a little, the pinky and the
Index
finger, whatever finger this is up, and they go zot, zot, zot. It's really funny to listen to, and you can bet that Brandon Lewis, who's going to drive in a lot of run for them, will hear that cheer more often than not. Shakin shows bunt, pulled back, called strike though on the outside corner. Sam Shakin's 1 for 3 today. Single, ground out, and a fly out to his ball game. 1 run, 7 hits for the Oaks. 1 run, 6 hits for the Riptide. No errors on either side in what's been a pretty cleanly fielded game. And I appreciate you there, Jordan, tell me what finger the index was, because for some reason the name was eluding me as Brandon Lewis almost gets picked off but was back safely.
Yeah, Lewis was caught stealing back in the 3rd inning. I'd be surprised if he steals a straight base here, maybe a hit and run, maybe a sacrifice bunt from Shakin.
Shakin did show bunt, but pulled back nonetheless. That pitch was a strike. Lewis taking a step and a half lead off at first. He was caught stealing earlier. He was also caught stealing yesterday. 0-1 pitch, swung and a miss, strike 2. Give you a reiteration of the Riptide field. Matthew Cooper in right, Luke Bandy in center, Aaron Simpson in left, Brandon Alamo at first, Mason Hibbler at second, Jacob Dominguez at short, Shaq Robinson at third, Landon Gray behind the dish. And the 4th pitcher of the ballgame, Chad Wilson on the mound. Toes the rubber, checks the runner, 0-2 pitch, up and in, ball 1. Shakin in his 2nd year with the Oaks, was a local product out of Chatsworth High School. Picked up from Valparaiso, where he was stellar his first 2 years. He was also stellar last season, but Valparaiso moved from the Horizon League into the Missouri Valley Conference, a more competitive conference, playing teams like Bradley University, Illinois State, Northwest Missouri, Northern Iowa. 1-2 pitch, gets away from the catcher Gray, and Lewis will take second base on the wild pitch. Shakin still batted over 280, so still had a great season with the Crusaders. But the numbers were just a tad down from the previous seasons because of the upped competition.
And in this particular situation, Sam Shakin has to be thinking about putting the ball on the ground to the right side of the infield, doing whatever it takes to get Brandon Lewis to third base with less than 2 outs in the inning. So if that means shortening up, maybe choking up on your bat, doing anything you can to get Lewis to third.
Shakin has worked his way back into this count, was down 0-2, has taken a couple balls, 1 up and in, 1 in the dirt to even the count. Wilson walked Brandon Lewis on 5 pitches, trying to avoid the same scenario here. Checks the runner, toes the rubber, peers and fires the 2-2. Cracked down the right field line, but it goes foul out of reach of Alamo. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Shakin. And Shakin is known for his defense. He is just such a clean defender out there in the middle infield. He can do it all for you. He can get off balance and make a great play over to first. He can turn 2 on a dime. He moves his feet well, he throws the ball well, and a multifaceted fielder is what you need. And right now the Oaks are lucky to have him. 2-2 pitch, misses outside. 3 straight balls here to Shaken. Brings the count full, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And he can even turn 2 by himself, as we saw earlier this game.
Yeah, an unassisted 6-3 earlier in this game.
Back in the 4th.
Payoff pitch here from Wilson. Cracked foul, Shaken protecting. We'll do it again. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Not a lot of full count pitches today. We saw a couple on Friedman's side and only a handful on the Oak side here. Shaken last year for the Oaks batted over 310. Currently still in the high 200s. Shoulders the bat. Wilson toes the rubber. Payoff pitch 2.0 is cracked right to first into the diving glove of Alamo. What a play for out number 1. He was right on top of that ball.
Maybe the most spectacular play we've seen all season. Shaken, that ball was hit very hard, destined for the right field corner, and the first baseman, Alamo, lays out a full extension grab out of midair to rob the Oaks of the lead and Shaken of his second hit of the ball game.
That is how you rob a run, as you just mentioned there, Jordan. You sacrifice your body for the betterment of your team, and Alamo did just that. Well done there by the first baseman. We're having a conversation on the mound. I'm not exactly sure what Jason Smith, the head coach, is talking to the home plate umpire about. Doesn't seem like he's very happy, though, with something.
Or maybe a change is coming.
Normally you don't see a change out on the mound unless the manager comes out to talk. And now Alamo is at first base. The conversation's still happening. There are 3 players out there. Landon Gray, the catcher, Chad Wilson, the pitcher, and again, I'm not exactly sure what happened. But they're intentionally walking Chase Cockrell, it looks like, to avoid the 4 pitches. And that's a smart move. Chase Cockrell is 1 for 3, but with a runner in scoring position and 1 out,
Number 6, Drew Sims.
now you put yourself in a double play situation. That was a smart move by head coach Jason Smith to walk Cockrell intentionally. The second time we've seen him intentionally walked in the season. Goes down as a base on balls, though no balls were thrown. Second walk officially for Chad Wilson on the ball game. The 3rd walk drawn by the Oaks, and they have runners on 1st and 2nd now. But I wouldn't say Drew Sims is any less dangerous than Chase Cockrell, especially in a situation like this, as the first pitch is on the inside corner for strike 1. He is 1 for 3 with a single, a strikeout, and a ground out, but he has the ability to pop that ball out there. The Oaks do have Andrew Lucas waiting on deck in place of Tyler Ryan, should the inning get that far with 1 away and 2 on. Wilson checks the runner at second. The 0-1 pitch, Sky at the left field, going back to the wall is Simpson. He looks at it, it goes, and it's gone! Drew Sims knocks over his first home run of the season, and it gives the Oaks a big 4-1 lead here in the top of the 8th inning.
A moonshot home run from Drew Sims. We all knew he had the pop. It was just a matter of time before he hit his first home run of the season, and it couldn't come at a bigger time for the Oaks. Now a big 4-1 lead in the 8th inning.
And now you have to say, well, I guess walking Cockrell may have been a bad decision because, as I mentioned, Drew Sims is just as dangerous, and right there he shows you why. By the way, before the game, our statistician Jacob Plack told me that Drew Sims was going to go yard today. Well, Plack, you were absolutely 100% right. Drew Sims knocking the first home run of the season over that left field wall very far, and a very clutch hit. Brings up the new hitter, Andrew Lucas, named the Ventura County High School Player of the Year this past year, headed to CSUN in the fall. He has a pair of home runs as well as a grand slam. Takes a pitch at the knees for strike 1. On the season for Andrew Lucas, batting .259, 8 RBIs, 3 walks, and 9 strikeouts. 0-1 pitch. Crack down the third base line, but foul. 0-2 here to the Camarillo Scorpion turned CSUN baseball player. Tyler Ryan, by the way, ends his day 0-2 with a walk and a pair of strikeouts.
And I think that was the biggest home run we've seen to left field this year. Easy.
0-2 pitch. Half-hearted swing. Did he go? They say he didn't. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now in the slider in the dirt. Absolutely. We haven't seen a lot of home runs over the left field wall. We saw one by Brandon Lewis earlier, a couple by opposing players, and finally the Oaks are able to get one out there, but it comes on the road.
And Andrew Lucas hit one to left field, too.
Absolutely. As he half-heartedly foul tips that one off up against the screen. 0-2 the count remains to Mr. Lucas. He hit a grand slam on the first pitch he saw as a collegiate batter. He never used a wood bat in a game before that. The first pitch he saw using a wood bat, he went opposite field in the season. And he swings and misses on that one for strike 3. The first strikeout on the game for Wilson. The Oaks are sent down swinging for the for the 9th time in the ball game. And they put 2 outs up on the board.
Number 26, Bart West.
And now Bart West, who's accounted for 3 of those strikeouts. He has a hat trick to his day. Digs in here. The first pitch from Wilson. Misses way inside. Gray couldn't even get a handle on it. 1-0 the count. 4 runs, 8 hits now for the Oaks. 1 run, 6 hits for the Riptide. And the Oaks offense finally coming to their own. Better late than never, I guess, here in the middle of the season. As the 1-0 pitch is a 1 hopper over to third, but it goes foul right as it hits the bag. 1-1 the count. We've been waiting for this Oaks offense to explode. If they get 2 more hits, it'll be 3 consecutive games where they've hit into double digits. They had 17, which was a season high yesterday. They had 15 2 days ago in San Luis Obispo. Wilson toes the rubber. 1-1 pitch here to West. Grounded to third. On the hop, Robinson over to first, but it's off the bag. Alamo tags West on the back. Beautiful play there to readjust for Alamo. Saves the error and ends the top of the 8th inning, but not before the Oaks get a big home run to knock in 3 runs by Drew Sims. No errors. They leave nobody left on base. The Oaks up 4-1. And how about this? Justin Friedman back coming to the mound for his 8th inning of work, trying to sustain a 4-1 lead. You're watching Oaks Baseball on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network.
Aaron Simpson.
Top of the order here for the Riptide. The Ball State Cardinal, Aaron Simpson, steps in. 0 for 3 today. A flyout to left, a flyout to right, and a 4-6-3 double play in the leadoff spot for him. But now the Riptide are trailing 4-1 here, as the first pitch is skied to right field. Michael Spears glides to his right and makes the catch for out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 away here, and Justin Friedman back on the mound for his 8th inning of work. That was only his 89th pitch of this ball game. He has been so stellar. Only 1 run given up back in the 3rd inning on a home run. Other than that, only 5 hits. Check that, 6 hits, 2 walks, and 7 big strikeouts. Luke Bandy now stepping in. The first pitch bounces outside for ball 1.
And Jonathan, you've been with the Oaks for a while. Have you seen a player throw a complete game before?
1-0 pitch, misses low and away, 2-0 the count. The closest that the Oaks have come, to my knowledge, was 2 years ago. Isaiah Campbell, who was drafted in the 26th round this past season out of Arkansas, threw 9 1/3 innings. 2-0 pitch, cracked over to third. Lewis backhands it, and actually, no, it's Will Pickett. No, it is Lewis. My mistake, over to first, but it gets Bart West off the bag for an error. Brandon Lewis gets his 4th error of the season. Luke Bandy staying on first base on the error. But going back to what I was saying on the E5, Isaiah Campbell went 8 in the 3rd. It was a 1-0 ball game in favor of the Oaks against the Ventura Halos, a team that is no longer in the CCL. Head coach Solis pulled Isaiah Campbell after the 1 out, put in Oaks closer Robbie Medell from Arizona, and that was it. Justin Friedman, though, his day is over into the 8th inning after he gets an out, and John Vergara out of Glendale Community College will step up to the mound to try and take the helm. We're going to take a break, though. Vergara takes some warm-up pitches. 1 on, 1 away here. Oaks up 4-1 in the bottom of the 8th inning. John Vergara from Glendale City College takes the helm here for the Oaks. Justin Friedman pitched a stellar 7 and a 3rd innings, gave 6 hits, 5 runs. Excuse me, wow. Not 5 runs, 1 run, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. As Vergara digs in here, the first pitch is hacked at and missed by Mason Hibbler for strike 1. On the season for Vergara, this is his 8th appearance. He has an 0-1 record and now a 6.48 ERA. He has an inning and a third under his belt as that pitch is cut and missed for strike 2. He does have a save, though, in that 11-inning ball game in Compton a couple of weeks ago. Runner on first here for Hibbler. He's 1 for 3, a single, a strikeout, and a ground out. Faces an 0-2 count. The southpaw deals. Popped up, very shallow, though, as Bart West over at first base backtracks, but he's called off by Tanner Wright out of second for out number 2. Pop out to the second baseman, a fly out to right field. In between that, an error that allowed Luke Bandy over to first has been the inning so far. And Austin Soika will step in. He's 0 for 3. 3 groundouts, 1 to first, a double play in the 4th, and then a 5-3 in the 6th. Bottom of the 8th inning here. Oaks up 4-1. It was 1-1 until Drew Sims broke a tie with a home run. First pitch to Soika is back against the screen. Luckily missing the iPad this time. 1-0 the count. Though that seems to have been a motif in the ball game so far today. Four runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Oaks. 1 run, 6 hits, and no errors for the Riptide. These two teams will duke it back out on the baseball diamond on July 14th. The Oaks will be back here in Fullerton, but then the Oaks host the Riptide on July 15th. 0-1 pitch here. Cracked foul. Soika now has to protect down in the count. Oh, no balls, 2 strikes. Vergara had a really good first outing for the Oaks where he got the save. Has struggled a tad since, but in his last outing against the Healdsburg Prune Packers last week, 1 2/3, no runs, no hits, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. That was a great inning of relief for him. Toes the rubber. Southpaw deals the 0-2. Swan and missed. Soika goes down swinging. The first strikeout on the game for Vergara, the 8th for the Conejo Oaks. And we're through 8. The Oaks up 3-0. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 left on base. To the top of the 9th we go. The Oaks have the 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up. You're watching Oaks Baseball on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. We'll be right back. Back here on the top of the 9th inning, Tanner Ryan will lead things off for the Oaks.
Number 1.
But a new Tanner Wright, I think that's what I said. Oh, I said Tanner Ryan, my mistake. Thank you, our statistician Jacob Plack, for letting me know. Tanner Wright leads things off here for the Oaks. New pitcher on the mound is Ashton Goddard from the University of Utah. 6 1/3 innings pitched, 12.51 ERA is his stat line. Wright is 1 for 3 on the day. The first pitch, a slider upstairs, but called a strike. 0-1 the count. Single stolen base and run scored for Wright. Grounded out and struck out in his other 2 plate appearances. 0-1 pitch. Fouled back against the screen. No balls and 2 strikes to count. 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Oaks. 1 run, 6 hits, no errors for the Riptide. Tanner Wright from Cal Lutheran, the only Division III player in the Oaks lineup today. But he plays like a Division I player because he's just so quick. He puts bat to ball, and he can hang out with anybody out there in the field. 0-2 pitch. Misses low and away. Ball 1. Elijah Alexander waiting on deck. Michael Spears in the hole. Oaks trying to cling to this 4-1 lead or extend it if they can. 1-2 pitch. No Swan and missed. Tanner Wright goes down swinging. The second time in the game he struck it out. He only struck out 2 times coming into this game. And that puts out number 1 up on the board.
Elijah Alexander.
Now the 10th time the Oaks have struck it out all game long. And Elijah Alexander will step in. He's 0 for 3, a rare 0 for day for him. The first pitch here from Goddard. This is up and away for ball 1. Elijah Alexander has 2 home runs in the season. He actually walked off twice for UTRGV this past season, 1 time in a regional back in May. 1-0 pitch, hit to right center field. That one's going to drop. Fielded by the right fielder, Matthew Cooper. But Alexander stays put at first base. 1 out single here for him, his first hit of the ball game. And you can negate the 0 for now. He's 1 for 4. Back to the top of the order we go for Michael Spears. 0 for 4 today, a pair of groundouts, both to the second base side, and a pair of strikeouts, both swinging. So some consistency, though not the consistency I think Michael Spears wants. But you'll look to break it here, 1 away, 1 on, 4-1 ball game, top of the 9th inning. First pitch, misses low, good block though from Gray, ball 1. Shadows getting longer, but the sun's still shining brightly here on the field. 1-0 pitch goes over the glove of Gray back towards us, and Elijah Alexander will take second base on the wild pitch. Only the second wild pitch we've seen on the ball game here for the Riptide. The other one was back in the top of the 8th when Brandon Lewis advanced from first to second. 2-0 count now here to the Ole Miss Rebel. He started off the season 0 for 18, but has since broken out of that slump. He's been stellar the last 3 games. 2-0 offering. Misses low and away, ball 3. The Oaks now have 9 hits in the ball game. 3-0 pitch, taken in there, gets away from Gray, and Elijah Alexander will take third base. And that scored a passed ball, the first of those we've seen, but Elijah Alexander getting to second base on the wild pitch, to third base on the pass ball. And Michael Spears is on base for his first time today by way of a walk. The 4th time the Oaks have drawn a walk today, the first given up by Goddard. 1 away, 2 on now, runners at the corners. And the big bat of Brandon Lewis stepping up. He's 3 for 3. A walk, a run scored, a double with an RBI, and 2 singles. Goddard deals the first pitch, cracked over to short, but it's mishandled by Dominguez. Coming in and scoring will be Elijah Alexander, and the Oaks take a 5-1 lead on Dominguez's mishandle. That is an unearned run. And Brandon Lewis stands on first base on the E6, the first error of the ball game here for the Riptide. Advancing the second on the play with Spears. It looked like Dominguez was thinking about the double play before he took possession of the ball, and that's why he bobbled it. 1 away, runners on the corner, runners on first and second now. Elijah Alexander in. The Oaks now have a 5-1 lead. An insurance run comes around. A shaken slaps the first pitch. He sees over to third. Robinson to second for 1. The relay is in time. And a 5-4-3 double play puts us out of the top of the 9th inning. Not before the Oaks strike for 1 run on 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 left on base.
1 run,
We're through
1 error.
8.5 here from Fullerton College. The Orange County Riptide have 3 more outs to try and make up the 4-run deficit on the other side of this break. You're watching Oaks Baseball on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. 5-1 the score. We'll be right back.
Georgia Southern University, number 7.
New
Steve
batter
Curry.
will lead things off here in the bottom of the 9th inning. The Riptide trailing the Oaks 5-1. Steve Curry from Georgia Southern, who went 0 for 4 yesterday with 2 strikeouts, steps in. Coming in place of Brandon Alamo, who ends his day 0 for 2, a walk, a ground out, and a flyout to his day. And Curry will try to kick off the 9th inning, mustering some sort of offense to keep the Riptide in this game. And they have a bit of a hill to climb here as John Vergara takes the helm for his 2nd inning of work, trying to shut down this offense and end this ball game. Southpaw deals the first pitch to Curry. Popped up but out of play for strike 1. 5 runs on 9 hits for the Oaks. They have an error. That error is matched on the Orange County side. They have 1 run on 6 hits, though. Vergara offers the 0-1 upstairs, ball 1. Evens the count here to Curry. Shaq Robinson and Matthew Cooper, the next 2 due up, assuming there are no changes. 1-1 pitch, bounces in the dirt. 2-1 the count here from Vergara. The Oaks trying to end this game, technically on a 2-game winning streak. It'll be a 3-game CCL winning streak. Again, yesterday's game has been postponed 8-8 going into the 10th inning until July 15th. 2-1 pitch. A strike on the inside corner. 2-2 the count here for Vergara. But that is a big deal to go on a 3-game CCL winning streak. The Oaks are trying to prove that they can contend with the top 4 teams, or the top 3 teams, I should say, the Riptide, the Healdsburg Prune Packers, and the Foresters. 2-2 pitch, swung and missed. Curry goes down swinging. Vergara kicks off the 9th, where he left off in the 8th with the strikeout, his 2nd of the game. Out number 1 up on the board.
Number 5, Shaq Robinson.
Shaq Robinson now will step in. 1 for 3 today, a single, a strikeout, and a ground out to his ball game. 1 out. Vergara toes the rubber, takes a breath from the stretch, the 0-0. Popped foul, back out of play, 0-1 the count. Robinson has been stellar in the field over at third base. Solomon has made a mistake and has been absolutely filthy in the field for the Riptide today. Vergara deals the 0-1. A strike on the inside corner. Vergara is locating his pitches very well here today so far, and he's ahead in the count. He has a couple of pitches to play with here because of the balls. He toes the rubber and takes a sign here from Sims. There's a fastball slider changeup combination, deals the 0-2, swung and missed. Shaq Thompson goes down swinging, the 3rd straight strikeout going back to the last inning for Vergara. He has 3 on the ball game, and now 1 out away from the Oaks, taking a big game here from the Riptide on the road. They're up 5-1, and Matthew Cooper will try to extend this game, though he is 0 for 2, a strikeout, down to a 4-6 fielder's choice, and he has walked in his 3 at-bats. Vergara takes a breath and deals the first pitch. A swing and a miss, strike 1. Already out ahead, Vergara is keeping these Riptide batters off balance. Oh, 1 offering. Swung on a miss, strike 2. 1 strike out away now, or 1 strike away, I should say, from retiring all 3 batters here in the 9th inning via the strikeout. He did that against the Barons in a safe situation earlier in the month. He's looking to recreate that majesty here. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Toes the rubber. Pearson fires the 0-2. Bounces in the dirt. Good take there from Cooper. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. And that negates the immaculate inning here from Vergara. Nonetheless, though, he can still pitch to perfection if he can strike out Cooper here. Southpaw offers the 1-2. Popped up into foul territory. Spears showing the speed, though I think he'll run out of real estate before that ball drops. He does. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The count remains. Quiet ball game, but a fun ball game here. The Oaks exploded for a big 3 runs in the 8th, and then 1 in the 9th to ensure a 4-run lead, but now they have to find a way to get this last out here against Matthew Cooper to end the game. Vergara toes the rubber. 1-2 pitch. Cracked over to short. Shaken tries to backhand it, but goes over his head in the left field. And Cooper reaches first base with 2 outs. The Riptide keep this game alive here on a miscue by the shortstop.
Number 12, Landon Gray.
And they're going to rule that an infield single here for Matthew Cooper. Runner on first, 2 outs, and Landon Gray stepping in. He is 2 for 3, a single, a home run, and a strikeout to his day. First hit given up by Vergara. Gray has accounted for the only run of the Riptide ball game with that home run back in the 3rd inning. First pitch. Upstairs, ball 1. One 0 pitch here from Vergara, swung on and missed. Evens the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Another high fastball, another swing and a miss. That's been the go-to pitch here for Vergara to get these Riptide batters to miss. Landon Gray was the 5th strikeout in the ball game for Friedman back in the 5th inning, though he homered. As the runner goes, that pitch is a strike. The throw goes into center field. Nobody there to cover. And going from 2nd to 3rd on the miscue is Cooper. Call that an error. It'll probably be an error on the catcher, Drew Sims, though. It's hard to say that it was his fault because the Oaks had nobody covering. But it is an error because we don't know who was supposed to be covering on that play. Puts a runner at 3rd base. Stolen base and an error there.
That's unfortunate because that was a really good throw from Drew Sims behind the plate.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The lefty matchup. That pitch in the dirt. 2-2 the count. 2's across the board now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2-away. Runner on 3rd. And the Riptide trying to stick around here. Trailing by 4, but a scoring run 90 feet away. Vergara toes the rubber and takes a breath from the stretch. Offers the 2-2. Jammed, but foul out of play. We'll do it again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Riptide face the Foresters tomorrow. In a big ball game for both those teams. The Foresters only have 1 loss on the season, that being against Healburg. They're 15-1, 13-1 in CCL play. The Oaks lost to them 6-5. They did have the tying runner stranded at 3rd in that game. 2-2 pitch swung on and missed. That pitch was in the dirt. Sims will not apply the tag, instead throw Landon Gray out, and this ball game is over. 4 strikeouts in the game for John Vergara. And the final line for you in a 2-hour and 34-minute ball game. The Oaks get 5 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. They leave 6 on base. The Riptide get 1 run on 7 hits, 1 error. They leave 7 on base. Jordan Brenner, the Oaks take a big one here from the Riptide, 5-1. It was hard fought. They only give up 1 run, which is a season low for this team, sufficing. What did they do here to really capitalize on what's been a very good last couple of games for them?
Well, they continue to get really great starting pitching this week. Justin Friedman, perhaps the best start for the Oaks this year. Brandon Ponticelli had a great start earlier this week. That's been great. And in addition, we've talked about all year how the catchers have been such great hitters behind the plate. Drew Sims had the big knock today, a 3-run jack in the 8th inning to put the Oaks on top 4-1. We're going to try and talk to him in a few minutes on the Oaks postgame show. Those are the 2 main stories here today. This team seems to be coming together at the right time.
Winning pitcher, Justin Friedman, 5 1/3 innings, only 6 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Losing pitcher goes to Chad Wilson, who gave up the big 3-1 homer to Drew Sims to break this game open for the Oaks. We're going to have to sign off here. Jordan Brenner will be on the field on Twitter after this game to talk to our Oaks player of the game, Drew Sims, who had that big 3-1 homer. He also had a single as well as a couple of outs. But until then, we'll be live tomorrow at 4:15. Pre-game show 4:30 for the game. The Oaks host the Pacific Union Capitalists in a 2-game homestand. But for right now, we're going to sign off here from Fullerton College. Head over to Twitter in about 3 minutes. Jordan Brenner will be on the field with Drew Sims. For everybody who made this broadcast possible, a big thank you for the hospitable Riptide for making sure we were accommodated, for accommodating our needs, our ability to keep track of player stats, what have you. A big thank you to them. These 2 teams will play again on July 14th. And for everybody who made this broadcast possible, from our statistician, Jacob Plack, my broadcasting partner, Jordan Brenner, my name is Jonathan Rifkin, signing off. Head over to Twitter to see Jordan's post-game interview in about 3 minutes. But until tomorrow's game at 4:15, once again, my name is Jonathan Rifkin, signing off. The Oaks win 5-1. We'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your Friday evening.